Hello everyone. Today we are discussing section 16.1 on vector fields. Vector field means as a definition is given, a vector field in a two-dimensional space is a function that assigns each point a two-dimensional vector. So what a vector field does is it is a kind of a black box where you have two inputs. The first input is x, the second input is y, and the output is a two-dimensional vector. If you're talking about a three-dimensional vector field, then what you will have is you will have three inputs, x, y, and z, and then your output would be a three-dimensional vector. Okay, so vector field you should understand that the domain here is a function. The domain is the variables x and y, and the range is a vector. So in a two-dimensional vector field, your domain is r squared, your range is also r squared. In three-dimensional vector field, your domain is r cubed, and your range is also r cubed. That's what you need to understand. So that's what I talked about, the three-dimensional vector field in the previous slide. So now let's go ahead and do an example on the vector field. Let's say a vector field is defined by this. So you have f of x, y is defined as negative yi plus xj. So that means you want to define this as f of x, y equals negative y and x. So you want to input f of 1, 0 is going to be 0 and 1, and f of 0, 1 is going to be negative 1 and a 0. Then you have f of negative 1 and a 0 should be, x is negative 1, so if you put that, y is 0, so you get 0 and negative 1. I hope I'm right. And f of 0, negative 1 would be x is 0, y is negative 1, so this is going to be 1 and 0. Okay, so now this is how you define. I just picked, you could have picked any number of points. I picked 4 because this is a two-dimensional vector space. I just picked 4 points on each of the axes. So at 1, 0, your vector field is pointing to 0, 1. So that means it is like that. This is x-axis, that is y-axis. Let's just put it that way. Then at 0, 1, so at this point, your vector field is pointing to negative 1, 0, and x is negative 1, y is 0. At negative 1, 0, your vector field is pointing to 0, negative 1, so that's somewhere here. And f of 0, negative 1 means here. It is pointing to 1, 0, so that's somewhere here. So that's how the vector field looks like. Okay, now you could have picked anything. For example, if you want to pick f of 2, 0, you're not, you're not obligated, but let's say if you wanted to pick, then what would that be? X is 0, y is 0, x is 2, so you get 0, 2. So that means if you start at 2, 0, you're going all the way till 2, 0, 2. So that means you're talking about a vector field like that. So it's getting bigger. Do you see that? Then if you proceed further and if you pick f0, 2, if you see here, x is 0, so that goes to the second tuple, and y is 2, that's going to be negative 2, 0. So that means here you're going to go there. So that means because this is negative 2 and 0. So similarly, so this is how you develop the vector field. But some easy examples, you will be able to graph them easily. But if you're talking about difficult ones, more complicated ones, you will not be able to graph this easily. So what happens is many times we develop some kind of computer systems like from Mathematica or MATLAB to be able to graph this, or Desmos or something like that. You will not be able to do it by hand all the time. Now the next thing is you want to define the gradient. First, let's give some introduction to the gradient. Gradient means, let's say gradient is like a box. Let me put it this way. Gradient is like a box, and its domain would be a function f of x, y, and its range would be a vector. Okay, so that's going to be fxi plus fyj. Okay, this is a scalar, I mean this is a function. How do I say, this is a scalar valued function. That is what is the domain, scalar valued function. And what is your range? Your range is a vector. Okay, please understand that. What you get outside is a vector, but what goes inside is a scalar valued function. Okay, now what else? To be able to define gradient, the partial derivative should exist, like fx and fy should exist, and they should be continuous. They should exist, and they should be, fx and fy should be continuous. That's one thing. It should be continuous. Okay, you can also write this in the vector form. You can write it as fx and fy. Okay, vector form. Now you can also if you can also input a scalar valued function of 3 variables. So gradient means you can input like f of x, y, z. That should be your input, and your output would be fx, fy, fz. Okay, so this is going to be you can write this as fxi plus fyj plus fzk. Okay, you can write it like that as well. So the domain, the scalar valued functions are called potential functions. Remember that, potential functions. I think you will learn about it a little later. And then you want to call this f as what do you want to call this as? I think conservative vector fields. I think, let me just check one time. So you want to be able to call that as okay, I forget the name. Yeah, you want to call that name as a conservative vector field. So this is called, sorry, I forgot. So this should have been a conservative vector field. Okay, so the domain is referred to, the domain for the gradient would be potential function, and the range for the gradient would be conservative vector field. Okay, so we will see its utility coming up in line integrals and fundamental theorems and all that important stuff, but right now just understand that. So now what we're going to do is here you see you want to find a gradient of this vector field. How are they related? Plot the I'm not going to plot it, and I'm not, I mean, if there is any relation I can tell you, otherwise I will not be able to tell you that. But understand that f of xy is going to be what, x squared y minus y cubed. So this is a scalar valued function. This is a scalar valued function of what, of 2 variables. Okay, remember. So upon finding the gradient, what you should get is you should get a 2-dimensional vector. So gradient of f is going to be, this is also referred to as potential function. Remember that. This is also called as potential function. So now gradient of f is of xy is going to be, you're going to write this as fxi plus fy j. So I mean, in this case, if you want to find fx, so that's going to be, you want to differentiate with respect to x, so that's going to be x squared y minus y cubed. So that's going to be 2xy. Fy is going to be, you're going to differentiate with respect to y, partial y, so you get x squared y minus y cubed. So that's going to be, you want to differentiate a term y, so you get x squared minus 3y squared. So you get like the gradient of the function xy is going to be you get 2xy and x squared minus 3y squared. So this is called what is that, conservative vector field, or it is represented by F, and it is called a conservative vector field. Okay, and that's how you find it. Now I mean, if you find the dot product and if the dot product goes to 0, then you can say that these two are orthogonal. I mean, potential function and the gradient. But in this case, I don't see that happening, so I'm not gonna do anything. So you can ignore the contour, graphing the contour and how are they related. You just find the gradient of the vector field. Okay, I hope this is clear, and I hope you're healthy and strong. And stay safe, and I'll come back to you with another lecture on section 16.2 very soon. Take care. Bye bye.